Hi everyone, Jeff Futers from First Century Foundations here, and we have a special treat today. We were filming up at Shiloh. I stopped at the gift shop to buy something on the way out, and our friend Moriah here said, "You know, we have the red heifers." And I said, "Oh yeah, right, I forgot." And she said, "Would you like to see them?" Yes. So here we are, and these are the 5 red heifers that have come to Israel, and they are being very carefully kept. No one can touch them, use them. It is very important because of the prophecies in Scripture that talk about the red heifers that will be sacrificed in the temple in the last days. And so, an amazing story, actually. The 3 that came from a farm in Texas, they found these 3 red heifers, and they contacted the farmer to ask about them. And he knew all about the red heifers because he's a Christian farmer from Texas. And he said, 30 years ago when I started raising cattle, I chose Red Angus because I believed that maybe one day some of my heifers would be used in the temple. And so amazing that they found these 3 at his farm in Texas. They are perfect. They are without blemish. And it's almost miraculous that they are, because as you know, in North America, cattle all have to be tagged when they're born. And these 3 happened to be born during COVID. And the gentleman that was supposed to come and tag them or whatever was sick. It was a long time before he could get to the farm. And in the meantime, the institute here in Israel contacted the farmer. They were able to get these 3 red heifers untagged, without spot, blemish. Their hairs are all the exact same color. It's quite an incredible story. And the last part of the story, which I love, is that when they flew them over here to Israel, they couldn't come cargo. That would again, make them defiled. It would make them no good for the purpose in the temple. So they had to make arrangements with the airline to bring them as pets. And so they flew in pet containers in the luggage area of a commercial airliner. And so these red heifers came commercial, not cargo, so that they can be used in the temple. Pretty incredible stuff. And we'll learn more about this as we go along. Thanks for listening.
Not even 2 hairs in a different color. And it has to be, it couldn't be tagged or blemished in any way. So it was a miracle. When they were born, it was the end of COVID. And the guy that comes and tags all the calves was sick for a while. So all the calves that were born at that time were not tagged. So that's one of the...
That's one of the things that
had to happen, right? Yeah.
Wow.
And then they can't be used. Even if I lean on them, it's disqualified. It's considered like I used them. So there are cameras here to make sure that nobody uses them. And this is what we call holy cow. In the Bible, that if one wants to enter the temple, which is considered, it's called in Hebrew the house of life, which is the house that house of prayer and peace and love for all nations.
Yeah.
And if he got in contact with dead, which is opposite of life, he has to go through a process to purify himself, men, women, children. So before you go to the temple, the process is mentioned in the Bible, done with the ashes of the red heifer. Actually, the priest took the ashes that were burned on Mount Olives with a cedar tree and a hyssop tree. It's all a lot of secrets, like the very tall tree with the little bush. It's like the big and the small are all together. And it was thrown into the fire. And then the priest took the ashes and mixed them with life water that comes from the source of life, which is a spring. So it's the source of death, which is red ashes, and the source of life, and this makes the purifying. And then he sprinkled the family, like 1 drop on the 3rd day, 1 drop on the 7th day. Then they went to the mikveh, the ritual bath, and then they could go into the house of life. So for all this, we need a red heifer. All these years that we're looking for red heifers, and even if they found something, it got disqualified But finally now we have 5 of them here after searching them from all over, and it's amazing. And the idea is to breed them, some of them, because if you breed all of them, they're disqualified. So 1 or 2 to leave,
Right.
not pregnant, and then to have a little herd here of red heifers in Israel.
And did they all come from the same place?
The 3 of them came from the same farm. Now I'm from Jerusalem calling, and we're looking for red heifers. So the farmer said, it's not weird for me, I'm a Christian, I know the Bible, I know all about the red heifers, and not only that, when I started to raise cattle 30 years ago, I chose the red Angus because I thought maybe one day my cows will serve in the temple. That's what he said.
Wow.
And in his farm they found 3 perfect ones.
Wow.
And then 2 others they found in a different farm, and they were brought to Israel on a regular passenger airplane in the luggage area, because it's not allowed to bring red cattle from the United States to Israel, so they got special permissions from the government to bring them as pets. So they were in pet containers, big pet containers.
They flew commercial, not cargo. That's awesome. That's amazing. What a story. Wow.
And I remember in the very beginning, you kept them in a farm near Beit She'an.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they decided to bring them here to Shiloh,
Yes.
because this is the place where the tabernacle has been, and this is the place that they were used in the history. This is a good place to teach people about it.